Am I you?
No.
Just stay out of my eye
You're
line.
in my eye line. No. Hey everybody, welcome to another Live with Lilo. I am sitting here with my friend Lou Martini Jr.
And I am your friend, which is good.
Are.
That's great.
You are, and you have no idea what we did to get here in this Equity Lounge coffee place. We almost got into a fight upstairs.
Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed. I wasn't one of the cooler heads. But I just got done with doing a 2 to 5, so I don't really want to go back on vacation. So I walked away. But that's for another show. That's for another show.
No, seriously, we were upstairs trying to do this in the men's lounge, I guess, where the
dressing area.
The dressing area.
Which I have self-taped for years and years and years before without a problem. Been paying dues since 1989. But today, a little actor boy came in and played little studio police. And
He did.
next thing we know, we're getting pulled out by security.
He was like all sweaty. He's like, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah, so.
Just doing a little self-tape, sir. Well, you're not really supposed to be in here. And he told on us. And
See, he didn't know what a self-tape was. He doesn't work a lot, obviously, like I do. So. All right, let's get on with the show, shall we?
Let's get on with the show. Yes, please. So my friend here, Lou Martini Jr., you may recognize him from, I don't know, The Sopranos, The Deuce. What else have you been in? You've been in, like,
Lately?
I was just looking at your IMDb
Oh, jeez.
plethora of parts.
Well,
that
I've been
you've
doing
done.
this since 1964, believe it or not.
And I have 1972, The Godfather movie. So
Well, actually, no, I started before that. I
Since you're a
actually
baby.
found a pay stub from 1964. It says Buena Vista Productions on it, which must have been some kind of Disney thing. So I must have been 3 or 4 years old at the time. And but the Godfather, you bring up the Godfather is one of my first my first speaking part in a film was a little movie called What's So Bad About Feeling Good, with the great George Papard, who has passed, wonderful man, and Mary Tyler Moore, another wonderful lady who has passed. That was my first speaking part. But in The Godfather, we'll give you a little movie trivia here, okay?
Okay.
I'm the only actor to actually have lines or do what they call principal work in The Godfather and The Sopranos. There was a couple of guys that were in Godfather 2, like Dominic Chianese was Johnny Ola in Godfather 2, a few other guys. But I was a little boy in the wedding scene, running up and down around the wedding cake and stuff like that in The
That's so
Godfather.
cool.
So I actually still have that on my resume for
That is well, you
conversation,
should.
right?
Hey,
That's pretty
hey,
cool.
listen, I was in Evita when I was 11 years old, and I still have it under musical theater.
Yeah, because people like to talk about the
it's
old
a
days.
conversation piece,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Why not? Why
Absolutely.
not? Oh, that's so funny. That's so great. Your dad was an actor.
Yeah, my
Yeah?
dad was a well-known character actor, song and dance man, vaudeville, the whole thing. As a matter of fact, how we got our name, Martini is not the family name. Catchy name now, huh? Martini Jr.?
I have the real name down.
Oh, you do have, look at you, you're like James Lipton here with the index cards. This is great. You've done your homework. This is great. But my dad was working like a speakeasy back in the day. Him and his brother had an act, a song and dance act. And these places back like in the late 20s, they would get raided. And when a place would get raided, either sometimes you got arrested or sometimes the cop would give you a summons, whatever type of mood they were in. So this one night, the place is getting raided. Cop comes up to the bar and he says, "Okay, what's your name?" And my father is looking at a, what do you call those, coasters, where you put your drinks on a coaster? A Martini and Rossi coaster. So he says to the cop, he says, "My name's Lou Martini, it's my brother Betty Martini, just give us the freaking tickets and leave us alone." They kept the name in the act. And when I decided I wanted to get back into show business after college, I said, "I'm going to use my dad's name." So that's how we go by Lou Martini Jr.
I love that.
And I
it's
still have
just
the coaster. I still have the coaster.
As you
the
should.
actual coaster.
Did you frame it?
No, I didn't put it in a frame, but I
you
have it, and my
should.
father. Yeah, I should.
Oh, yeah.
Because I do have a little shrine to my dad, some of his old show
Aw.
business things. That's a good idea. I should put the coaster in there too.
Yeah. You have like old pictures of him? 'Cause
Oh yeah.
I think those old pictures
record
are
things.
really cool.
He was a recording artist too, and I have one of his old records. And I actually have back in the day. For you young folks, there used to be jukebox in bars. There would be a big box with records in it. You put a quarter in or a dime in and play the song, and all the songs would be listed on this little, like, tab. And I actually have the old jukebox tabs with my father's records on it, which I think is very cool.
That is
That's
awesome.
in a frame.
How great is that?
So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Love you, Dad. Miss you.
Aw. So your real name is, how do you say it?
This is going to turn into one of those Barbara Walters. You're going to make me
Lou.
cry now? We're 5
Did
minutes
you
in,
go
I'm
by-
crying.
Is it Louis or is it Louis?
No, it's Louis. My
Louis?
friends when I was young called me Louis, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I don't like the name Louis still.
Yeah.
Lou or Louis is fine.
Louis Azara.
Yeah, Louis is like a gangster. Louis.
Yo,
Louis.
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 Well,
You owe me money.
Well, let's talk about your roles that you portray. I mean, you yourself are a character actor.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of
Live,
character
live,
acting.
live and die. Live and die by
Yes.
doing
So
character
what,
work.
So,
Yes.
so what has been thus far your favorite character that you have portrayed?
I think maybe probably the biggest too was my role in The Sopranos. I had a recurring role in The Sopranos the last season. I played a character by the name of Anthony Infante, and he was Johnny Sacks, the New York boss's brother-in-law. And he found himself as a go-between between Jimmy Gandolfini's character, Tony, of course, and Johnny Sack. And the really interesting thing about that character was he wasn't a wise guy or a gangster. He was just a basic eyeglass salesman who happened to be caught in this web of, well, my my brother-in-law is the most important man in New York, and he wants me to go talk to the most important man in New Jersey, but I have no idea what I'm doing or why I'm even involved in this.
Right.
And one of my most favorite scenes was I go to jail one time, and a lot of people love this scene, is I try to actually talk in code to Johnny Sack about what me and Jimmy had just talked about, some kind of deal in New Orleans or something. So that might be my favorite role.
Yeah.
Challenging, playing somebody with a mental illness. Have you ever done that?
No.
That's pretty crazy. I've played a schizophrenic twice, once on stage off Broadway and once in a commercial campaign for Lily. And that was really, really, really deep as an actor, really challenging, and you go places and you have to find places that you don't think are even there.
So how do you prepare for something like that?
A quick story about when I did the campaign, the schizophrenic campaign for Lily. I had done a play a few years before that where I played a schizophrenic on stage. And again, somehow as an actor, you find the deepest, darkest hole in the back of your being, and you go there and you hear the voices, and it's just very, very uncomfortable. So when I got to the set, the first day they took me to the set on the commercial, the set was amazing. To this day, the most amazing set I've ever been on. It was supposed to leave my house, and it was disgusting. I mean, there was old cans of tuna filled with maggots and stuff like that. It was amazingly disgusting. But this is what some schizophrenics live with and how they live. And I remember going to this set and saying to myself, man, this is really disgusting, but tomorrow as an actor, I'm going to come in here and I have to own this.
Right.
That can of tuna with the maggots in it is mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
use
saying?
it,
So as
yeah.
an actor, so the preparation is really, like I said, it's about finding a deep, dark place way back here where you almost lose yourself.
Yeah.
You really do. You really do.
Wow.
I mean, I'm a method guy, so I don't think I've ever lost myself. I think it's important to have somewhat of yourself in every role you do, because I
Sure.
think that's the truth of it.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is basically, of course, I'm not a schizophrenic, but I think there's part of me, some maybe small part, that might have schizophrenic tendencies in my being,
Yeah.
and you try to tap into that and bring that forward so it's a truthful portrayal, as
Listen,
opposed to a surface kind of
We're,
thing.
we're all crazy.
Wow, that
I
was
mean,
actor talk,
we're
wasn't
all crazy, and we all almost got into a fight upstairs.
I tapped into something deep and dark there too, but thankfully
did.
my friend Stuart Steinberg was here and he pulled me away.
Stuart's
Thank
like
you
right
again,
across
Stu.
from us.
Thank you, Stu.
They almost.
That was the cooler head that prevailed. Not me and Lilo. That was the cooler head that prevailed. Stewie.
Oh my God, that was thrilling. Anyway, let's get back to Broadway. Tony and Tina's wedding.
That was my first really big job. That
Yeah.
opened a lot of doors for me.
Tony
It was in
and
the
Tina's-
original cast
Tony
of
and
Tony and
Tina's
Tina's
Wedding.
Wedding, 1989. It was the first, what they call interactive show, where if you came to the show, you were literally thrown amongst all these crazy characters in an Italian wedding, and you sat down and you ate ziti with us, and you danced, and you smoked, and you did all kinds of stuff that you would do at a real Italian wedding.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we would stay in character. And the people would always try and break character, that was the most fun of doing it, was staying in character while somebody saying, come on, what's your real name?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, hey, my name's Tony. What do you mean it wasn't my real name, you know? So that was my first big job in 1989. That opened a lot of doors for me. Wound up doing my
Absolutely.
first Law and Order from that because the casting director, Suzanne Ryan, saw me in Tony and Tina's Wedding, and I did a nice guest spot in my first Law and Order back then, 1991 or 1990. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Fantastic.
Tony and Tina's Wedding. You know your stuff. You're going back.
Well, listen, Lou and I met when I first moved back from Los Angeles in the Equity Lounge, which looked
Full circle, but we've come
yes,
full circle.
It looked
Now we're
nothing
talking
like
again.
this. It was on the second floor, and I met you and a bunch of other guys.
And we didn't get thrown out that day like we got thrown
We
out
didn't
today.
get thrown out. Yeah, we literally just got thrown out of the Equity Lounge. The audition lounge,
Yes.
or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you call it.
That's hysterical. So, you're not only an actor, you are now a producer and a writer.
Correct.
In your own right.
Correct.
Okay, so I know that you have a long
fledgling
list.
producer.
Look
and
at his
writer.
IMDb credits. I mean, the list is long, you guys. This guy is a working actor.
They're all real too. I don't want to say anything about some other people's credits, but they
But
are.
I know you were just away. You were pitching some projects.
Yeah, I was at the what they call the NATB down in Florida. It's the National Association of Television Producers. And a few years ago, I decided on many things. I just decided I wanted to also try and create my own work as an actor. And I had a dear friend of mine for many, many years. Her name is Tony D'Antonio. You might know her. She ran the Endeavor Studio for many years.
Okay.
Big voiceover artist, terrific actress. And she hired me to do her movie called Alto, which you can see on Amazon and other platforms right now. Really wonderful movie called Alto. And we decided, you know what? We have the same likes and values and tastes. Why don't we try to do something together? She wants to produce. She has some work. I want to produce. I have some work. And we put all our stuff together, all eggs in one basket. And now we've done one movie. We just finished a television pilot that we were down in Natby trying to sell. We have a couple of reality shows that we've shot that we're trying to sell.
Really?
Yeah.
Reality shows?
Yeah. We're trying to do a little bit of everything. We go from unscripted to scripted. And I'm really close on shooting a film, which I'm really, really proud of, that I wrote with my partners Dave Jogler and Rich Wetzel. Wonderful, wonderful writers. They were police officers. And Rich passed away this past summer, which was a really, really horrible loss. But he helped me write a wonderful script about a family of dysfunctional cops in New York City in the 80s. Really, really proud of it. And we're close to doing it. We have about 80% of the funding. And we're hoping to do it this summer in New York. And possibly Sam Elliott is interested in playing my pop. Maybe Sylvester Stallone. So I'm excited about that and proud of that, because that'd be a big deal for me.
Yeah.
To have written a film that I'm going to star in opposite like some A-listers.
And Sylvester
That's called
Stallone
Honor.
knows all about writing and pitching and amazing man, actually.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep. And how I got I guess the bug, like I said, to do this is I'm also a big 1970s New York City film fan. In my opinion, the 70s in New York, the films that came out of New York is The Godfather, French Connection, Dog Death, and it's just a wonderful time of film, in the history of film.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to do something like that, and I wrote this film. And I originally written it for it to take place in the 70s.
Yeah.
And when I wrote it like 5 years ago, everybody said, well, it's too expensive to do it in the 70s. Let's make it the 80s.
Isn't it just as expensive?
But now, things have turned around, and we're actually talking with the company I'm going to shoot it with. We're actually talking about, what, maybe we go back to the 70s now, because the 70s is more accessible now as far as getting props and cars and all that kind of stuff. It's more accessible now than it was 7 or 8 years ago.
All they're doing are 70s.
So,
I mean, The Deuce.
Yep.
First of all, I know you worked on The Deuce. Because I watched The Deuce, and I'm like, hey, there's Lou.
Right, there's me. There's me.
But they have, and I know all the my friends that have the 70s cars, and just the way that they depict everything 70s is amazing.
Yeah, you would never know. You never know.
I mean,
some of that is computers also. I mean, they get some computer-generated stuff to help.
Yeah, but the way that they set up a set. I mean, especially outside, and they make it scrappy.
Oh, yeah.
It's my nose is running.
And how about Mrs. Maisel? I just did a Mrs. Maisel,
Right.
and that's the 50s, and the clothing of the period, and it's perfect.
Perfection.
It's perfect.
That show is perfection.
Even the way people spoke. I mean, they made sure that I spoke in a certain tone, because that's the tone of the show, the way everybody spoke in the 50s.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah,
So,
that's like watching
attention
a musical.
to detail. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Excuse me, I have no tissue on me. My nose is running.
Use one of your extra cards.
No. Who would be your ultimate dream team? Like, if you could pick and choose actors. Like, if you could pick anyone, who would be your dream
one of
team?
the guys that's no longer with us is my favorite, I would say, old-time actor is Robert Mitchum. If I could have done something with Robert Mitchum, I just think he's the man.
Right.
I like the old guys, Robert Mitchum, Steve McQueen. If I could have done something with them, that would have been wild. Al Pacino, of course, is my hero. And it's possible that, this movie Honor, to play my dad, he's one of the people that have been suggested. And I'm like, if you get me Al Pacino, I'd be very happy. Believe me, that'd be fantastic. To work with Al Pacino, that'd be fantastic. So
That's awesome.
Those are some of my
Have you
guys.
ever met him?
Yes, I've met him twice. Really, really nice. Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Good man.
Yeah.
Nice man. Very nice man.
Like personable?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, very personable, as opposed to some
Because you know how people,
other
people
actors
that-
who we won't name are not personable.
There are people out there that are not in the industry, and they think they know people just because they watch them on TV or in movies. and or hearsay, and they'll say, "Oh, so and so is such an asshole." Well, do you know him? I mean, how do you feel when people?
Well, I heard this a great example. I had heard things about Jimmy Gandolfini when I got The Sopranos. I heard a couple of things, and they were not even in the ballpark. I heard that, well, Jimmy doesn't do your close-ups.
Right.
When I was on the set one night in March, it's got to be one of those nights where it's like maybe 35 degrees and it's raining, and my close-up is the last shot of the night. It's like 8:30 at night. The crew wants to go home. They've been there all day. They want to go home. So we're on my close-ups. I do a couple of close-ups. I really wasn't happy. Jimmy could see I wasn't happy. So this is what he does. He turns to the director and says, "Hey, Henry, can I do a couple more with Lou? I want to try something." So there you go. That's the total opposite of somebody saying that he doesn't do your close-up. It was total bunk. And you hear this stuff all the time about people. That's why I don't judge anybody till I work with them. And believe me,
You can't.
when I work with an asshole, I'll say it's an asshole, but I'm not going to say somebody's an asshole before I work with them and they're an asshole.
Right.
So.
Right.
But that's that goes around in this business. I
Right.
worked with Sidney Lumet. That was amazing, amazing, amazing. I worked with Sidney twice, and that was amazing. You can't ask more than that. That's a director.
That's amazing.
That was
Yeah.
great. I'd love to work. I would. That's a dream team. Pacino and Sidney Lumet. That'd be a dream team to do that.
Now, as far as I know, you do TV, you do film, you're working on your own projects. Any plans to come back to Broadway or audition? Because the money is in film and TV.
Yeah, and that's the hard
But-
thing is because I have a play that I've done a few times off Broadway called Centennial Casting, which I think is the funniest, sweetest, cutest romantic comedy I've read and done in years. And I've done it regionally a few times. And we've tried a few times to get it an off-Broadway run here. And just people are worried about investing in off-Broadway shows these days because it's so much easier to invest in a television project and or a movie project and see the money real quick. So that's really, but I'm not giving up. It's called Centennial Casting. If you ever see me and Centennial Casting mentioned anywhere, go see it because it's a wonderful, wonderful
I'll go
play.
see it.
So I'm not giving up on it yet. We're still going to try and do it.
I'll go see it. Let's see if anybody have any questions for Lou?
Oh, you didn't tell me you were doing this.
What?
This is like a live question. I'm so not
You don't know.
technological.
Listen,
I can't even say the word. Proficient or what? Oh, look at that. Little questions. Okay, should I put my glasses on?
Nah.
You're going to read the questions to me?
No, I don't think there's
Okay.
any questions. There's only
All
a
right.
few people watching right now, but they can watch the playback.
Oh, okay.
But if anybody has any questions for Lou, now's the time. So anything that we don't know about of the lovely Lou? Lou lives in Bay Ridge, by the way. I'm not going to give up his address.
I'll give my
but-
address, but I live in Bay Ridge, and my wonderful, wonderful partner of 18 years, Betty Ann, who I love dearly, with Betty Ann and my 3 wonderful cats,
See? This is why I
Buddy
like Lou. He's
and
an
Rocky and
animal
Jazz.
lover.
Oh, I want to come back as a veterinarian in another life. I know I'll be broke and I won't have any money.
That was one of my
but I
other
wanna
questions.
work with animals.
That was one of my other
I
questions.
hate people, but I love animals.
But he likes me.
Yes, you're one of the good ones. You're one of the good ones.
But that's what I was going to ask you. If you weren't an actor, what would you be? What would you be doing?
Yeah, I do something with animals.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that in common when we first met, the animal thing.
Yeah.
I love animals. I could have a house full of animals.
Me too.
Like, for example, the other day, we just bought a little house in Jersey to go to on the weekends and stuff like my girlfriend and I, and we had to run an errand to Jersey, and it's the first time we were there without the cats. And it was like, this is so weird. There's no energy. What happened to the energy in the house without our little babies, our little
You
fur
missed
babies
them.
there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was only a couple of hours, but it's like, no way. I
I
can't
know.
imagine not being without animals in my life.
I know. I've got 2 dogs, 2 cats. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And we just want more, but
Yeah.
we have a small space
Same
right
thing.
now.
Yeah, it's not right. It's
Yeah.
gotta
All
have
right,
the
Lou.
space.
I don't think I had. I mean, we covered everything. I didn't even look at these.
No,
I
you didn't.
did-
That's good. You
I
didn't.
didn't even.
No.
What do I need them for? I mean, do you prefer?
Did we miss anything interesting on the cards? that
What would
wanted-
you do? See, what would you do if you couldn't act?
Did that.
You know,
Check,
do you
check, check,
Do you
check.
prefer film over TV? I mean,
I prefer the check to be on time. That's
yeah,
film or
I
television.
think you found your niche.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna do Dave Letterman.
Okay, very good.
Let's see if they have any questions before we go.
Okay.
Looking good. Who's this? Who's Andrew LeBruno Sr.?
Oh, Andrew, we did a movie called Last American Guido together. What's up, Andrew?
Hi, Andrew.
That was fun. Yeah, it's on Amazon. Make sure you go see it. It's called The Last American Guido. It's a really, really funny comedy. And speaking of character actors, am I a character in this one?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you go see it. It's on
All
Amazon.
right. Awesome. Good. We'll look for
Good
it.
checking in, Andrew. I'll see you soon, buddy.
We'll look for it. And was that him? Oh, yeah. He said you're looking good. He is
Yeah.
looking good.
That's right. Andrew hasn't seen me with the gray hair. I just went gray.
I saw you from the back, and I was like, is that
Oh, that's
Lou?
right. You haven't seen me gray either. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
just stopped coloring my hair recently. I booked
like
a couple
it.
of jobs with it, so I'm keeping it. My girlfriend loves it, which is the most important thing, right?
I like it,
She
and you
likes
got
the
a lot
gray.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, so good.
It's good. Well,
So
I'm
far,
glad
so
we were
good.
able to conduct this without being yelled at or chased out or
Or
getting
me-
into a fight.
Me doing another 2 to 5 for assault. Yeah. Didn't want to do that. Didn't want- Although, you know what? Could have been great for my career. You know, you come out of jail, you get a lot of work these days.
Yes, someone else with my name seems to be getting work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I won't mention who that is.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure you can pretty much figure it out.
But he's a friend of ours.
Yeah.
He's a friend. He's a good man. He's a
Yeah,
good man.
yeah.
That's just a bad situation.
Yeah, I got that.
Hey,
one a
Lilo,
long
if you're
time
listening.
ago.
Hey, buddy. Hope
Hey,
you're doing
Lilo.
well. Hope you're doing
One
well.
Lilo to another. Hey, what's up? All right. Anything else, Lou?
No, we're good. I think
All
we're good.
right.
It was
Gonna-
great
gonna
talking to you and
finish
great
your
seeing
tea?
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
you too. Thank
And
you
again,
for
special
meeting me.
thanks to Stuart Steinberg for keeping me out of jail today. That's
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Stu.
Thank you so much.
all. Love you, Lilo. Thank you.
Mwah, thank you.
Yes, we'll do this again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy your Monday.
Bye.